so this is the thing with the CDC. Way back, they were saying that there was one woman in New York City that transmitted Zika to her partner, and yet people were asking about sexual transmission in men. And one of the people from the CDC, I'll show it on the screen for you, said, well, we won't give out that information because it affects all women in America. And I'm thinking, yeah, but like, I'm not going to go and have sex with a guy in California. Like, why wouldn't they? And why do we know it's a woman in New York City? This is my point. So, in Barranquilla, Colombia, 47% of cases apparently arose from sexual transmission, or it looks like that. I haven't seen a study since. I talked to a researcher at one point who said it's only a 3% transmission rate. I think that's a total lie. I think it's closer to 47%. And the other thing is, the WHO, the CDC, and Public Health Canada, whatever, nobody's recognizing culex as vectors. Now we have more proof of wild-caught culex being Zika vectors than we had way back in March 2016, when the whole world was giving all these studies and free pictures of Aedes aegypti. Now, culex tarsalis is found Midwest U.S., and I'll show you, I'll have to redraw the range, because the range I found is under copyright, but it's everywhere pretty well, and people have no idea. They think they're protected. So here we have people going out in the evening, the sun setting, culex tarsalis, this is the deal with this one. After the sun sets, for the first few hours, it's the most active. And the other thing is, it prefers to bite feet and then ankles and then, you know, wherever body parts are exposed. So this was disturbing. I go and think to myself, well, are they going to make now the homeless people wear sandals? And I look up homeless, sandals for the homeless, and sure enough, I find a couple places in South Florida and Skid Row that's giving, you know, it's virtuous if you don't have shoes, sandals, and they're flip-flops. They're not like sandals that kind of cover 2/3 of your foot or anything. Flip-flops to the homeless. I'm thinking, wow, they're really exposed now. And I just hope if they have shoes and socks on that they're not being convinced that, gee, you should take those off, because there's other things. Rabid animals could bite their toes. There's other dangers. So I don't know how much people know what's going on, but I know the public's not being told about the 5 independent research teams that now have proven that Zika is transmitted by culex, overnight biters. Every time I hear daytime biters, Aedes aegypti, daytime biters, I cringe. And just today I read that in the Philippines, in Bangkok, where there's lots of bulbuls of different kinds. In fact, I think they're a popular pet in Thailand. Now, Zika's going crazy there, and all they're acknowledging, okay, the government is only acknowledging Aedes aegypti as the vector. It's the one. It's not the one, because it may be transmitting it, sure, but it's transmitting it plus culex, which are the whole other beast that actually breeds in polluted waters. And these things carry nematode worms and other things that emit Wolbachia. Plus now we have the Aedes aegypti larvae, eggs, and mosquitoes that are now infected with Wolbachia. So That's entered the food chain, and I don't know if you caught it, but we have reports now of these 6 North Atlantic right whales who have died. The initial reports, there's nothing on them from the outside, blah blah, and then I saw, oh, preliminary report, blunt trauma, and I'm thinking, why is this all changed? A dead carcass lying out there at the size that it is probably got smashed up against rocks, or ships might have banged into it, whatever. Whales can be infected by St. Louis encephalitis virus. That shares the phylogenetic cloud besides Zika. It's supported 99% within it, so... Yeah, whales come up to the surface. North Atlantic right whales actually eat the copepods that consume Aedes aegypti larvae. And when they surface, they come near shore and surface, these culex with the Zika and Wolbachia are probably biting them, and then they're consuming more Wolbachia via this copepod, Mesocyclops longituus. I don't know if I'm saying these words right. To make a short story long, there's a lot of populations around the world that are not being told the truth by their government, including the United States. And Health Canada is pretty complicit in this because they just go along with whatever the CDC says. So I don't know how long marine biologists and ornithologists and others that are studying these animals that are just coming back saying, oh, it must have been a thunder strike, or it must have been some plastic toxins or environmental or climate change. I don't know how long they can keep on with these when Wolbachia, a double-walled reproductive parasite, is probably at the root of the reproductive failures. And those whales kind of represent us. I mean, they breathe in and out, they're mammals. And my guess is the reason they didn't sink is they maybe had like a Guillain-Barré syndrome type thing where their breathing muscles seized and they just couldn't go any further, and then that's why they floated instead of sinking. Because since 2014 they've been releasing these Aedes infected mosquitoes, larvae, eggs, whatever, in Brazil. So I gotta turn around.